Silver holders, my head is absolutely spinning right now. We are witnessing history in the making. Prices have never been this high. In this video, I will share with you the secret alpha. So where potentially could the price of silver go next? Is there going to be a retracement, or will this thing continue to skyrocket up? The answer to that will surprise you. I will talk to you about that later in the video. We're also going to be talking about the biggest geopolitical alpha you have to have on the radar, because this is going to impact the price of precious metals. We'll speak about that. There could be some 5D chess playing out right now. And there are just some amazing things. So if your head is not spinning as well, I have to ask you the question, why not? Because things are just looking phenomenal for silver. So I just want to say congratulations to every single one of you holding silver, holding precious metals right now. The market is looking absolutely fantastic. We're seeing rotations that are coming in that will also surprise you as well. Let's talk about the price action right here. And you can see $107 silver USD. This is the paper price as well. So you have to understand this is the paper price. It's not the real price. So if this is your first time having a look at the silver chart saying, hey, what's going on with this fantastic asset? You have to remember, you cannot buy silver for $106 US. It's not going to happen, right? If you want to buy the physical silver for this, you need to pay. Look, 115, I'd say even more than that. It's probably going to be like 117, literally 120 US dollars per ounce. That's what you're looking at to get your hands on physical silver in the market right now. And this thing is not slowing down. There's going to be several reasons playing into this, but I want to also pay your attention to gold. 5,000 USD right here. Absolutely phenomenal. So it's actually up to 5,048 US dollars. Platinum roaring, $2,793. Copper, $6 as well. And if you're someone who stacks precious metals, invests into precious metals, make sure to subscribe to this channel, because we're covering the most important news that you need to have on the radar as this market goes north. And we are heading north. We're heading not only north, we might be going into, outer space right now. That is the way, the direction of the market. So this thing's moving up extremely rapidly. I want to tell you, this is a very important underrated metric right now. And that is, there are a lot of people in the market that have been investing into crypto. They are now trading it into gold and silver. Actually happening. So people are trading their Bitcoin, they're trading their altcoins, they are jumping in on the silver train, because this cross-pollination is getting very, very strong. People want to go where the gains are happening, and there are massive gains happening in precious metals into gold and silver as well. And just remember, this is an asset class that in history, and we might do another video coming up on the channel, I might just talk about this at a general level, but when there has been really big political uncertainty, where you actually see the collapse of a nation happen, and we'll go back to, say, the 1920s in Weimar, Germany, the price of silver went insane, okay? And if you're in the USA, you have to remember there is huge political division within the USA. There is fighting, against other countries. And if people don't think someday the USA might not, last or be as strong as it, now is, you have to really factor that in, because in those times of, economic collapse and society collapse, if you have a currency reset, precious metals historically has, always been, there has never been a better asset in history, 6,000 years, which is as good as this, right? Gold, silver, platinum, copper. And part of the reason is, just really simply understand this if you don't really get it. It is because you can use this not only in the present day economy, but it will be part of the future economy. And this is not based off speculation. It's not based off anything. You actually need it, right? So you actually need this in military, you need it in the economy, plus a lot of things. Now, check out this very, very secret alpha that is starting to break. World copper shortage is coming next. So we are seeing a spike in silver. I think the spike in silver will go higher. Not financial advice, but I think this thing is absolutely rocketing right now. There is no slowing down the silver rocket. So a copper shortage is coming next. The world economy is projected to face a copper deficit of 10 million tons by 2040, equivalent to 33% of the current global demand. This comes as global copper demand is estimated to surge to 42 million tons by 2040 from 28 million tons in 2025. Asia alone is expected to reflect 60% of the total growth over this time, driven by EV adoption and grid upgrades. At the same time, AI data center copper demand is set to surge 127% to 2.5 million tons by 2040. Meanwhile, supply is expected to peak at 34 million tons in 2030 before declining to 32 million tons by 2040. copper is the next global strategic commodity, and that is 100% facts right there, guys. So look, precious metals 2026, that is the year. A lot of the money coming into precious metals right now, and also for good reason as well. There is a lot of geopolitical uncertainty as well. Record all new time highs coming in for gold, guys. So coming in for gold. So if you also have gold in your portfolio like I do, you'd be looking, sitting pretty happy right now. $5,000 US, climbing, going higher. And I think one of the biggest factors people don't realize, and this is something I'm kind of just thinking about in the background, as I've also got stocks as well. But with the growth in AI, AI is going to rip holes in some companies. So individual companies in the US, could be Australia, could be the UK, that are heavily digital or rely on like a digital software product. Honestly, I think their days are numbered, because we are starting to see the rise of Claude. I'm looking into Claude bot as well. AI is going to just rip holes in these companies. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this goes. So the traditional index stocks, it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. And that's part of the reason why people are just saying, it's easier to buy and hold precious metals, because there is a real demand behind these things. These are needed in the electrification of the world. You need to have precious metals for the military. You need precious metals for the future economy as well. And that's what part of the reason people are just putting it in. Whereas, say, if you go into stocks, it becomes a lot harder to predict. Especially with AI, which stocks are going to be winners and which ones are going to be losers. Whereas, precious metals, I think long term, this is just going to be a winner. Now, having said that, we are seeing a likely government shutdown, adding fuel to the fire. And also, this is interesting as well. So we are seeing many crypto holders who have been, 100% crypto purists. They are starting to sell some of their portfolio, may it be Bitcoin, may it be altcoins. And you know what they're trading it to? They're trading it to gold, and they're trading it to silver. So there's actually a gold cryptocurrency. I think it's PAXG. You can actually see it right here on the CoinGecko charts, but it's going to be around here, which is backed. Actually, there's a couple. Tether Gold. But there's also another one. Yeah, Pax Gold as well. So Tether Gold and Pax Gold. 5,082. So there's more of a premium on the gold right here. So that is really interesting to factor in as well. So you're going to see a lot of trading from traditional crypto people, where there has been people just holding these assets. As they see this pump comes in, they're going to trade to gold and silver as well. So just expect that. And the other thing that's really important to understand about that is it doesn't just happen in one day. Remember, there is a lagged effect with this. So especially as we witness the crypto markets rise, they rise over days and weeks, right? As people, send money to crypto exchanges, convert it into crypto. Same deal is going to happen on the reverse of that. So they're going to have to, sell crypto, trade it into, precious metals, and that can take time. Remember, the precious metals market, it's not open 24/7, right? So literally today, which is Monday, US time, this thing, it might explode even more, right? So just factor that in as another storm factor. And this is also a storm factor as well. This could be 5D chess by President Trump. So the US Air Force is preparing to launch a multi-day readiness exercise, and I say that in apostrophes, across the Middle East, to demonstrate the ability to deploy, disperse, and sustain combat air power in the region, according to the Saudi state-owned news channel Al Arabiya. Now, that could just be code for we are about to attack Iran for real. Just factor that in. So what's the difference between a training exercise and a real exercise? Not much, except for maybe the bombs actually leave the aircraft. So apparently the leader of Iran is in hiding right now. So he is completely hidden. His son is leading the country, and things are just starting to really heat up. So there is a lot of speculation that this month, within the next week, you might see potentially US strikes against Iran coming soon. And again, we tie this back to precious metals, we tie this back to gold and silver. guys, unfortunately, but also fortunately, look, at the same time, as this world kind of gets more chaotic, as more spot fires start, and you can see these spot fires in Minnesota, like the US, the politics in the US has never been more divided than it is right now. What you're going to see, precious metals. People trust gold and silver. They trust this. You don't have to trust the politicians with gold and silver. You're trusting the metal itself. That's what's happening. You don't have to trust. And the worse these scenarios build, say with the Middle East, with Russia, with Ukraine, with China, Taiwan, the better position gold, silver, precious metals will be. Now, factor in also, look, anytime you are seeing exponential run-ups like this, sometimes there can be retracements as people will take short-term profits, but only for the short-term traders. And remember, as I've been telling you right here on this channel, I'm not short-term trading this. So we've seen many ups and downs for silver, and literally every time this happened, I wasn't looking to, buy at 47 and sell at 54 and then try and repeat this process, because look at the graph. Look at the long-term graph of this thing, and this is a macro trend asset. So just remember that if you're short-term trading this, you might get caught with your pants down if you're making the wrong move, and that's why you should have like stop losses and take profits in place. But there's a lot of action momentum coming into gold and silver right now. I think this week's going to be very, very explosive. The odds of the US government shutting down by Friday reaches a new all-time high. So 80% shutdown. Remember, in the USA, shout out to you if you're watching in from the USA today, they always do this. They do this, quite often. It's a song and dance about the US shutdown. And remember, what the politicians won't tell you is the biggest scam in the US is going to be this US national debt. And the way the scam operates is the politicians talk about, governments and budgets, but they have absolutely no plan for the US national debt overall. And they are quite happy to kick this can down the road indefinitely. And you know who this actually penalizes? This actually penalizes anyone in the USA who actually pays taxes, who actually has an average job, right? Because this is like a maxed out credit card that actually isn't getting maxed out. There is no limit on this thing. Interest keeps going up. And again, if you kind of go into gold and silver, what you're opting out of is you're opting out of this kind of fiat scam system. And the system is a scam. Let's be honest about that. It is taxing people to their ends. Now, I think this week, just hold on to your hats. Things are getting absolutely explosive, critical. If you want the next update on the channel, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, because that will deliver the update to you as quickly as possible, so you won't just get pushed later in the algorithm or something like that. So make sure you are subscribing. Make sure you are hitting the notification bell. Shout out to Young Pistachio for comment in last video on the same one as you about basically everything. Metals are going to keep going up long term, no doubt. Appreciate the update. So appreciate that, Young Pistachio. And Patry says crossing the fingers to 250 in the next couple of years. And to be honest with you, yeah, so 250, it might seem like a way away. But look, if this world keeps spiraling, and to be honest, like the trajectory of the world is going in that direction. So if you look at like sentiment factors within the USA, within Australia, within the UK, if you actually ask the average person in those countries, is the USA getting better? Is Australia getting better? A lot of them would say it isn't, right? They're saying it's going down. So every decade, these countries seem to go down until they potentially go into like collapse state. And this can happen, right? This has happened so many times in history where you will get, societies and collapses eventually happen. It happened to the Romans, happened to the Greeks, happened to many empires and different societies out there, because things just can't be managed well enough for long enough, really. And one signal of that is look at the US national debt. There's no plan around this, and just things are getting interesting. And that is a major update for today. So if you want the next update, subscribe. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.